and welcome everybody to tonight's special gathering and shmooze. Now, you must be wondering what in the world are these fine gentlemen doing here? It's not before Pesach, it's not before Shavuos, it's not before Sukkot, it's not before Chanukah, it's not before Purim. We always have a special party before all the holidays. So what's the holiday? There's no holiday coming up. The answer is, tonight is our 5th night that I'm discussing Shabbos. And they always tell Shabbos is the most holy of all the holidays. So I thought to myself, this is not fair. If all the holidays have a special party, Shabbos, which is the master and the outstanding holiday of all holidays, Shabbos should be left out. It's not fair. So therefore, I asked our wonderful performers here, our artists in singing and playing, that they should come and make Shabbos. That's the name of what we called it tonight. Day of pleasure and joy. God sits together with every Jewish family at the Shabbos table. And therefore, since Shabbos is day of joy, I figured our last shmooze on Shabbos would be very appropriate to bring out the joy of Shabbos, sing some of the Shabbos songs, and get some insight into them. And I'm sorry to say that I don't know what happened, but the glossary sheet is about half empty, that many things that are supposed to be here are not here. I don't know what happened. But we'll fill it in anyway with our words. The first expression on this sheet was supposed to be, oh, 1 second, it's number 5. Look at that, number 5, it's here. It was supposed to be number 1, it's number 5. Ki eshmera Shabbos kel yishmereini. Now this is one of the Shabbos songs that's sung at the table of Shabbos in the daytime. Certain songs are sung at Friday night at the table, the Shabbos table, and certain songs are sung at the Shabbos day, Suda dinner that we have, and certain ones are sung at the third Shalashudas meal that we have. This particular one, Ki Eshmer Shabbos, beautiful tune to it, is sung at the day meal that we start in the morning usually and continue until the afternoon. And what it means, a very special significance to this song. If I watch out for Shabbos, God will watch over me. If we watch Shabbos and keep Shabbos, God will watch over us and keep us. So I'll ask our artists to sing a song about this, and there's a very special story that's attached to this song, which I want to tell you. It's an unbelievable story, and maybe we'll get into it a little bit. Usually we start with Shehechiyanu, but for Shabbos we don't say Shehechiyanu. All the holidays we say Shehechiyanu because it has to come 30 days of an interval to say Shehechiyanu. But Shabbos comes every 7 days. We don't make Shehechiyanu on Shabbos. So instead of Shehechiyanu, we want to start off with this song of Ki Eshmer Shabbos. Do people have? Oh, they have it over here, number 5. Yeah. So if you please, give us the pleasure of hearing this wonderful song, and then I'll tell you the story that's attached to it.
Baby
It's actually a very long song. The actual text of the song, this is taken out just the beginning of it, because they added on part of it. When I'll watch Shabbos, God will watch me. It's an everlasting sign between God and me. God and me personally. God has a personal relationship with every Jewish person. By keeping Shabbos, it's a sign of love between God and His nation and every Jewish person. Now, the story goes like this. I might get a little emotional when I say this story. I get choked up when I say over the story. But so who cares? What's wrong with that? But anyway, just to get you forewarned. The story is like this. It's a true story that happened about 2 months ago. And I personally involved in the story, the people that were involved in the story. It's authentic, 100%. I'm not going to say the whole story right now because not all of it's relevant, but I'll say the part of it that's relevant. There was a man who was not religious. And he was studying about Judaism. And he decided he would like to keep Shabbos. Stop working on Shabbos. Be home with his family. Be home with God at the Shabbos table in his family. His problem was that the company he worked for, like we spoke about every week so far, in the old times, but the new times too, they were very particular and they demanded that all their employees work on Saturday. And he knew if he stops working on Saturday, he's going to lose his job. And he was going through this for week after week, this inner conflict, what should he do? Finally, he decided, that's it. He's going to take the jump. Went to his boss and said, I cannot work on Saturday anymore. I'm becoming a Sabbath observer, and come what may, I'm telling you my plans. So his boss said, well, you know the policy of the company, that if you don't work on Saturday, we can't retain you as an employee. But as the custom of the company is, he doesn't fire anybody. It goes to the head person. There was a big company all over different cities. The head of that city, of the company, he does the official hiring and firing. So I'm going to submit what you said to him, and he'll speak to you. So, sure enough, he was called in the next day by the big boss. The big boss said to him, listen, The policy of the company is that we do not retain anybody who does not work on Saturday. However, since you're such a great worker, a loyal worker, we're going to make an exception. You can stay with the company, not come in on Saturday, but this Saturday you must come. Because this Saturday they have a special project, and you're the only one who knows the ins and outs of that project. And you must come this Saturday. After Saturday you can take off from now on. But this Saturday we must have you, because it's a special time that we must have this training, whatever it is, for the employees, and you're the one who knows what's going on. We need you here. You must come. Well, the man was sort of bittersweet. Here, on one hand, he's getting off Shabbos. On the other hand, he must come in for the Shabbos. So he was in a turmoil. What should he do? He called up his rabbi, happened to be rabbi in the Oorah office, who, one of the coordinators, I think it was, and he told him his dilemma. What should I do? Here, I'll be able to take off every Shabbos. I decided I'm taking the jump, and now I got another stumbling block in front of me. This Shabbos I have to come. So it's a very difficult thing. So the coordinator said, I'm going to ask from a great rabbi, tell him the story, and see what he says. I'm not great enough to answer this question. This is a difficult question to answer. So he went to this great rabbi, and the rabbi told him, tell the person, if you keep Shabbos, Shabbos will keep you. If you watch Shabbos, Shabbos will watch out for you. Yeshmer Shabbos, Kel Yishmereini. Don't worry. So he came back to the person. I told him, I asked this rabbi. The rabbi told me, tell him, if you watch Shabbos, Shabbos will watch you. The person heard it, didn't know what to do, big turmoil within, inner conflict. What should he do? He went to sleep that Friday night. He couldn't sleep all night, twisting and turning. What should he do? The rabbi says, the boss says, he got up in the morning and decided, I'm going to work. Can't help it. One more Shabbos, and after that, I can keep all the Shabbos afterwards. So, I'm going to go to Shabbos. Comes downstairs from the bedroom, take a cup of coffee before he leaves. On the table, he sees that one of his children who attended a Jewish school left on the table one of the Torah sheets, kids being home before Shabbos, that they have different Torah sheets that the parents go over with them at the Shabbos table. He picked it up and couldn't believe his eyes. The Torah said, if you'll keep Shabbos, Shabbos will keep you. Huh? He couldn't believe it. He read it in front of his eyes. If you'll keep Shabbos, Shabbos will keep you. He figured, that's it. How close can God come to talk to me? Here, this big turmoil is in. He decided, and now God sends him a message to his child. If you'll keep Shabbos, Shabbos will keep you. He decided, that's it. He's not going to work. After that, it's a clear assignment from heaven, telling him, pulling him, pushing him. What are you doing? You decided to keep Shabbos. Keep it. Didn't go to work. Came in Monday morning expecting to be called in the boss. Okay, you know you're taking advantage. I gave you off every Shabbos. You didn't come to Shabbos. He comes in Monday morning, and one of the coworkers says, hey, we missed you Saturday. But don't worry. John from Detroit happened to come in on Shabbos. And he knows all the stuff that you know, and he took care of everything. We didn't even need you to come all together. That was it. End of story. Shabbos will keep you. If you'll keep Shabbos, what Shabbos shall watch over you? That was a great song that we just sang over here. There's more to the story, but this is the main punchline that has to do with our theme that we're talking about tonight. Unbelievable story. We're up to number 1, Hadlakas Neiros, lighting the Shabbos candles. How many Shabbos candles is a woman supposed to light? The different customs to be fulfill the basic obligation. 1 candle is good enough. But some people light 2 candles because in the 10 Commandments that we're learning is Zochar v'Shamar that we mentioned, the first commandments that were given before the tablets were broken. Zochar, remember the day of Shabbos to keep it holy. The second tablets that were given down to Moses after the first ones were broken, Shamar, watch and keep the day of Shabbos. Zochar v'Shamar. We have to remember it to keep the positive mitzvahs of Shabbos. Shamar, to keep the don'ts of Shabbos. So remember, so Zochar v'Shamar, some people light 2 candles. Some people light 7 candles. 7 days of the week, to remember God created the world in 7 days. He rested on the 7th day. Some people light 7 candles. Some people, whatever they start lighting, when the woman gets married, every child they have afterwards, they add on another candle. Because every child that's born is a neshama. It's a holy soul coming from God. And we have a pasuk that says, Ner Hashem Nishmas Adam. The person's neshama is considered to a candle of God. Because the neshama is very holy. God created the neshama with his own holiness. It's like a great light in the neshama of a person. So therefore, every neshama that's born, they add 1 light on. Some people have big families, almost the whole table is full of candles. You can hardly eat on the table. Some people have 12 children, 14 children. But that's a great joy that they have, that God blessed them with such a big family. But the different types of customs that people do. Now, we know those women who light candles for Shabbos, because they have to be lit before sundown. Now, in this season of the summer, which sundown is so late, it's the latest sundown possible now, it's like 8:31 sundown now is, so it's pretty easy to light it on time. But during the winter, when it's 4 hours earlier, the earliest is 4:29, 4:28, but they must be lit before sundown. I'm sure you realize and know the custom for a woman to cover over her eyes at the time she lights the Shabbos candles. What's the reason for that? Now, it's not so simple. It's a halachic question. I'll try to explain it the best I can. The reason for that is as follows. Most women don't realize why they're doing it. We know, mentioned many times before we perform a mitzvah, before we perform a commandment of God, we have to make a special bracha. We bless God for the great schus and honor and merit and privilege that we have to perform one of God's mitzvahs. We have to make a bracha before we do any mitzvah. Before we eat matzah Pesach night, matzah. Before we sit in the sukkah, before we blow the shofar, all the mitzvahs that we do. Before a man puts on tefillin in the morning, it's on the talis, you make a bracha before. The same law applies to lighting Shabbos candles. The woman who's lighting the candles must make a bracha to Hashem. It's thank God, thank you very much for giving us this great opportunity and privilege to fulfill the mitzvah of lighting the Shabbos candles. There's a problem though, because as soon as she says, L'hag ner shel Shabbos, she's accepting upon herself Shabbos. It's Shabbos already. You mentioned that you're doing a mitzvah for Shabbos. If it's Shabbos, you're not allowed to light a candle. So how could you, it's like a paradox. If you say the bracha, you're accepting Shabbos. If you're accepting Shabbos, you can't light the candle. So what should you do? Light the candle first and then say the bracha, but you're supposed to make the bracha before you do the mitzvah. So we're here in the quandary in this problem. How should we do it? If you make the bracha first like you're supposed to, then you can't light the candle afterwards at Shabbos. If you light the candle first, then make the bracha. You can't make the bracha after you did the mitzvah. You have to make the bracha before you do the mitzvah. That's why she lights the candles first. But to make the bracha, you cover over your eyes, not to get the enjoyment of the light and the pleasure and the benefit of the light of the candle until you make the bracha. She takes her hands as if now she enjoys the light that comes, that's illuminating from the candle that was lit. So therefore, you're able to fulfill both problems. You light the Shabbos candles first, but you don't derive any benefit from the candle for covering your eyes, because the whole purpose of the Shabbos candles is to have light, to enjoy the benefit of it. But once you cover your eyes, so then you're not benefiting from the light of the candle. You make the bracha and then you take your hands off your eyes. Now it's as if I lit the candles now, because now I'm for the first time I'm enjoying the benefit of the candle that's lit. That's the reason why she makes the bracha after lighting the candle and covers her eyes. So according to that, it comes to the holiday Yom Tov, where you're allowed to light candles, you're allowed to make a fire on Yom Tov, on Sukkot, and Shavuos, and Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, you're allowed to light a candle. So according to this reasoning, you should make the bracha first, because even he said, L'hag ner shel Yom Tov, we have a mitzvah to light the candle Yom Tov. You take upon yourself Yom Tov, you're allowed to light the candle after. And some people do it that way. They don't cover their eyes in Yom Tov like Shabbos. They make the bracha first, and then they light the candle. But some have the custom not to make a difference between Shabbos and Yom Tov. They do it the same way. Since it's done on Shabbos that way, they do it on Yom Tov that way. Also, I think most women do it that way, because once you do it on Shabbos, they want to get mixed up. Shabbos you don't. Shabbos do, Yom Tov you do. So therefore, Shabbos and Yom Tov, they make a difference between them. But that's the reasoning. According to the reasoning, and Yom Tov would be permitted, it would be better to make the bracha first and then light the candle, because then you're really doing the bracha before the mitzvah. Now, I'm sure the women who light candles have the minhag they saw by their mothers and grandmothers. After lighting the candles, they make motions with their hands, outward motions, circling motions like this with the candles. They light the candles, cover their eyes, make a bracha, take the hands off their eyes, and they make motions with their hands. Noya chitzayni saviv haneiros, makes outward circular motions with her hands around the candles. What's the purpose for that? The purpose for that is, some people make it coming in. Yeah. Okay, well, that's the purpose. The reason for that also, I'll explain that also. But the going outward motions is light spreads. When you light a candle over here, the light spreads to the whole room. Just make a dark room, like you have to turn off all the lights and light a candle. The light travels so fast, you don't even notice it. But the light starts from one place and it travels very quickly. It travels faster than sound, but the light starts from one place and travels to the whole room, to the whole area. Shabbos which is day of holiness, of Kedusha. A woman lights candles in her home. But since a Jewish person takes Shabbos in their home, that spreads the Kedusha, the holiness, the light that God gives to the world. Holiness is light. Gives people a reason to live, a reason to do what they have to do, and not just do it like an animal, but they do it because this intellect is dictating to them a purpose in life. God gives light to the world through the Jewish people keeping Shabbos. That light spreads to the whole world. People don't realize it, maybe. Maybe other Jewish people who are not religious, maybe non-Jewish people who don't realize it, but the whole existence of the world, the whole blessing, the world to be able to exist, is from Shabbos. Because the holiness of Shabbos is so great, it gives the power and the stamina for the world to exist a whole week. It spreads. Shabbos, the holiness of Shabbos spreads out throughout the world for Shabbos and for the coming week. That's why the minhag is to, as if the light is emanating and spreading through the room. The Kedusha and the holiness of Shabbos and the bracha and the blessing of Shabbos is being spread around the world. Through every woman's lighting the candle, every person's keeping Shabbos. The ones who are the minute to go from the outward to the inward, that is showing that we're getting blessings from Hashem from heaven, and it's coming towards us. So keeping Shabbos and lighting the Shabbos candles, God is shining down upon us His face of joy, so to speak, and giving us the blessings of Shabbos coming down to us. So He showed God, He's sending down this blessing and this light and this holiness and this purity. It's coming down through lighting the Shabbos candles. God gives us His ha'oras panim, lighting up His face towards us, shining His face towards us. That's the reason for the two different customs of outward motion or inward motion. In the shul, when the Shabbos prayers are said, at the time that we say, "Welcome to us Shabbos," the whole congregation turns around towards the back of the shul, where usually that's where the doors are. People come in, and they welcome Shabbos. Bo yichalu, bo yichalu. Come to us Shabbos. What's the purpose of that? What's the reason for that? We mentioned last week, or 2 weeks ago, a difference between Shabbos and Yom Tov, Shabbos and the holidays. Shabbos, we welcome God to come to our house. On Yom Tov, God welcomes us to His house. That's the difference. Shabbos, God is a guest by us. Yom Tov, we're a guest by Him. Time of the Holy Temple, when it was standing in Jerusalem, the Jewish people used to leave their homes and go for the holidays to Yerushalayim, to Jerusalem, to the Holy Temple, to the house of God. That was the house we used to live together with God, in His house. Shabbos, we welcome Shabbos into our home. God comes to our home. Yom Tov, we go to His house. We're a guest by Him. As a matter of fact, the great Arizal, with his Talmidim, the great, we call him the father of modern Kabbalah today, of mysticism. Arizal was a great mystic who lived over about 400 years ago. And he lived in the holy city of Tzfas in Eretz Yisrael. Anybody in Tzfas? Anybody ever been to Tzfas before? I don't know if he went to his kever, to where he's buried, People go there to pray. One of the greatest people of all times. With his students, when it came to Shabbos, right before sundown, they used to walk out of the city as if to welcome Shabbos into this, as if the great king is coming. When the great king is coming to the city, people walk outside to greet him. Don't wait for him to come inside and say hello. They walk outside with the whole delegation to greet the king. They used to walk outside of the city as showing that Shabbos is coming into the city. God is coming, becoming their guest. He's coming to town, the great king. We said from Maimonides last week. A person before Shabbos should sit and look forward with expectation. Shabbos is coming to my house. God's coming to my house. God's coming to my table. They used to walk out of the city and greet Shabbos. So we don't do that today. We live amongst the non-Jewish people. It's not too practical to do that. But we turn around to the door of the shul as if a guest is coming into the shul, welcoming the guest, welcoming Shabbos coming into the shul that we're praying in. Of course, if you ever come to Oorah for Shabbos, we do the same. We go outside, and we go our camp in Oorah. If you ever come for Shabbaton, Shabbos, we go outside to greet Shabbos outside like the old times used to do. But that's the reason why in the shul they do that. When we come home from shul, we sing the famous song of Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, I wrote down the number 6. We sing the song Shalom Aleichem Malchai Hasharis. Peace be to you, the angels of service to God, the angels from above, sent for the King of all kings, the Holy One, blessed be He. This is based on, our rabbis tell us, when a person comes home from shul Friday night, 2 angels walk along with him. One angel is a good one, and one angel is a bad one. He's accompanied by 2 angels. And both angels come to his house. And if the house is the way it should be, the Shabbos table is set, the beds are made, the food is appropriate for the holy day of Shabbos, the good angel says, Yehi Ratzain, let it be the will of God that next week this house should be the same as this week. Just holy and pure. And the bad angel has to say, Amen. Can't help it. Since they came into the house and saw such a wonderful Shabbos house, everything the way it's supposed to be, everything's dressed up, in honor of the king coming to the house, God himself is coming to the house, sits down to the table with us. So he says, next week, this family, this wonderful family should be zoiche, merit, they should have the same happiness, same joy next week. But if they come into the house and the Shabbos table is not set, it's not Shabbos in the house, and everybody's doing who knows what, but it's not Shabbos. The bad angel has the part, he writes next week, it should be just as bad, and the good angel has to say Amen. There's a tremendous story I want to tell you over about Shalom Aleichem. But may I ask first our performers to play Shalom Aleichem for us, and then I'll tell you this fantastic story. We say the 4 stanzas, Shalom Aleichem, peace be to you, Boachim L'Shem, number 8, number 7. Second stanza, Boachim L'Shem, you should come in peace, the angels. You should be a blessing in peace, the angels. And when you leave, you should leave in peace. Those are the 4 stanzas of the Shalom Aleichem. Another Shabbos song. So beautiful. Meaning, this day is honored from all the days of the week, because God rested on this day. Therefore, it is the most honored day of the week. Now, the story I wanted to tell you about Shalom Aleichem. It was going so good, I wanted to sing another song. It was so nice what they were singing. This story happened with me. It's a real story, true story. I was once, this is many years ago, one Chanukah evening, I was walking in a non-Jewish neighborhood, and I saw in the window an electric menorah. So I figured it must be a Jewish family, naturally, electric menorah. So I knocked on the door, and they came to the door, and I said, I introduced myself, and they were very cordial, invited to come to the house. And I said to them, to make a long story short, how would you like to send your children to a Jewish school? Send your children to a Jewish school. Are you crazy? Jewish school, we love you here amongst the nations of the world. We don't have any connection to Judaism. All of a sudden, send the kids to a Jewish school. So we talked and we talked and we talked. And finally they said, okay, we'll try it out. Send Jewish school. So they sent the kids to a Jewish school in Staten Island, Jewish Foundation School. And they're very happy. Children were learning about Judaism to the point it came that they felt that they're living in such a non-Jewish neighborhood. The kids don't have any friends. We have to move to a Jewish neighborhood. So they moved into, I think, Hartland Village at that time. And they felt more comfortable, kids having Jewish people around, Jewish friends. But still, they were not observant. And one Friday night, one of the children looked out the window and he saw people coming back from shul. So he said out loud, they're so lucky. They got angels coming to their house, but we have no angels coming to our house. So the father said, what are you talking about? The father heard him say, we have no angels coming to our house. What are you talking about? Well, Oorah told us that the Jewish person goes to shul Friday night, 2 angels come back with him into their house. But you don't go to shul, so we have no angels in our house. It hit the father like a knife in his heart. He heard that. He got so startled and so taken over with emotion. Hear his children talk like that. They all have angels come. We don't have no angels come. Well, no need to say, the next Friday night, the father went to shul. And, matter of fact, he went from strength to strength, became a very pious person, scholar in his own right, studied Torah afterwards every day, and it had a great effect upon him. The story about the angels coming back from shul, that's what did it in their family, that life in his heart. We have no angels coming to Torah. So late already, we should have planned this to be a double night of learning, studying. But we have in our midst a very pleasant surprise. You think we have only talent and artists in playing? We have in our midst a very great poet. And she has started to write poetry for different occasions, different people. She has a great talent for that. And she wrote a special poem about Shabbos. And I'd like you to hear Shiffy to say over this poem that she wrote in honor of Shabbos, and I think it will be very enlightened and very touched by her poem. So Shiffy, come and give this poem. It's Shiffy, we call it. For short, call it Shiffy. You call it Shiffy when it's for short.
Welcome to a Jewish home on Friday afternoon. You will know a special event is coming soon. A frenzy of preparations at a swift pace. For tonight in our home, God's presence will grace. We all pitch in, directed by Mother the Planner, to be set for Shabbos early in a composed manner, ensuring that we and our homes are in top shape, befitting this outstanding day for which we cannot wait. The table is regally set with dishes and silver so fine, fit for a majestic Shabbos, truly one of a kind. It will be coming in sooner than we think. Everything must be ready in perfect sync. As its divine spirit sweeps through every dwelling and street, the women light candles as the Shabbos they greet. The shining candles have a unique warm glow, which our souls all seem to connect with and know. Candle lighting is an auspicious time for a mother to pray that God grant her good children to follow in the Torah way. The Jewish home is filled with holiness tonight. All are exquisitely dressed and shining so bright. Both the men in shul and women at home chant L'cha Dodi in a sweet sing-song tone, welcoming in the Shabbos queen to a home so happy and serene. The men return from shul to their tranquil abode, singing Shalom Aleichem and Ishas Chayil, free from the week's load. Father blesses the sons and daughters as well. May they be like our great forefathers and Anachas to Klal Yisrael. Upon a silver cup polished to a shine, Father makes kiddush on sweet red wine. He passes around so all can take a sip. Even the smallest child gets a bit. We then wash our hands for challah so luscious and tasty, which Mother lovingly bakes each week so ably. The 2 challahs are a remembrance of a double mun that we received each Friday in the desert sun. The meal moves on with different delicacies. Every home has its favorite specialties. From gefilte fish and kugel to kibbeh and lachmajin, each Jewish home has a distinctive Shabbos theme. We're elated to join with God after a week so long to sing uplifting Zmiros, joyous, inspiring songs. Speaking about Shabbos, God and our nation, how we've all been one since creation. God is so near to us on this day, we elevate ourselves in a special way, stepping away from the mundane that weighs us down to a sacred place with God and his crown. We speak about the Torah, its words sweet as honey, priceless lessons more valuable than money. About our forefathers in days long past, the Torah comes alive with a message to last. The Shabbos table is a wonderful time for conversation. We relax and loosen up on this occasion. With no ringing phone, text, and email, true pleasant family time can prevail. With the Shabbos spirit here brings us all close together. Any differences between us feel insignificant as a feather. As Shabbos proceeds, twice more we have a meal, with scrumptious food and good cheer that we all feel. Magnificent special prayers we say with pleasure, appreciating how God granted us this treasure. Each Shabbos meal has its exceptional flavor, different food, songs, and significance to savor. Every facet of Shabbos raises up our soul another stretch. In our mind, in our heart and mind, it's marked as etch. As the sun moves across the sky and begins to descend, we sadly grasp that Shabbos will soon be at its end. Trying to embrace it with all our might, another song, another prayer, we hold on tight. We feel so happy and intimate with God at this time, in no rush to revisit the weekly grind. After Ma'ariv, we perform the Havdalah ceremony, dividing the Shabbos past and week ahead in harmony. We make a blessing on the fire, besamim and wine, separating this holy day from the rest of the time. Our soul misses Shabbos and is not feeling so pleasant. It gets enjoyment and comfort from the besamim scent. In L'cha Dodi on Friday night, we say the following: Kihi mekar ha-bracha, it is a source of all blessings. When we use the Shabbos correctly and its laws we keep, it will create joy and blessing in our entire week. Let's all take advantage of its glorious Shabbos day with the warmth of its laws and sweet pleasures like the sun's rays. It will bring us closer to our Father in heaven above, as it is He who gave us the Shabbos in His infinite love.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Wow. Well, that was very special, very uplifting. She took away half of my speech. But look how late it is already. Well, let me just go through it quickly. Otherwise, I have to come back next week and finish. So that's fantastic, Shiv. Thank you very much. It really is very nice. I think you should print it up and pass it out next time. Everybody should take it with them. I think they'll read it by the Shabbos table. I think everybody will enjoy it. We don't have a machine here to run it off. I don't know if we have a machine. Okay, I'll go through this few just to finish up the different ideas that in number 9, the Shabbos meal is eaten at a different time than the usual time. If people usually eat supper at 6:30, we eat the Shabbos Seudah at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. We want to make it different from the regular dinner that we eat every night. So the time has changed. Even though it might be a little convenient, but we want to make a recognizable difference between the Shabbos meal and the rest of the week. And Lechem Mishnah, like Shiffy so eloquently talked about, the double challah that we have, the remembrance of the manna that came down. The Jewish people mentioned last week about the 40 years in the desert that they got bread from heaven, the manna. And every day, every morning, the manna came down from heaven. They had what to eat. But Erev Shabbos, they got a double portion, so they shouldn't have to go out on Shabbos to collect the man. So therefore, in remembrance of the double portion of man, we take the 2 challahs at nighttime, daytime, and afternoon when we have the 3 seudas, the 3 different meals we eat in Shabbos. And each one represents a different Shabbos. There are 3 Shabboses that are very outstanding. The first Shabbos of Bereshis, when God created the world and He rested, that was the first Shabbos. The second Shabbos, the Torah was given. Guess which day the Torah was given on Mount Sinai? On Shabbos. The second great significant Shabbos. And the third Shabbos is the future, the Yom Shekula Shabbos. It's coming up in the end of time. It will be only Shabbos, only time of being close to Hashem. Those are the 3 Shabboses that we talk about: the Shabbos of Bereshis, of creation, the Shabbos of giving of the Torah, the Shabbos of the future. And that's where we eat the 3 meals and we celebrate the 3 Shabboses of these ones of significance. We usually start the prayer in the morning of Shabbos later than we do during the week. The simple reason is because Einik Shabbos, when it gives us time a little more to sleep a little bit more. Shabbos is a day of pleasure, so we don't get up so early, we daven a little later. There's another reason for it also, but the time doesn't permit to go to that. It's a fantastic reason, which I hope we'll have an opportunity to talk about in the future sometime. And I'd just like to end off, before we have a great song coming up, Number 15, we sang one of the Zmiros, one of the songs of Shabbos. Kodesh Elochem Shabbos HaMalka. Shabbos, the queen, is very holy to you. He will come into your house to give you a blessing. Contrary to popular belief, people think they'll get a blessing by working on Shabbos and making money on Shabbos, but they're making a big mistake. Shabbos will give the biggest bracha. Shabbos will give the biggest blessing in the house, more than any blessing possible. Like we said in the very beginning, Shabbos, if we watch Shabbos, Shabbos will watch over us. And now maybe you could sing for us just one Shabbos. This song is based on, our rabbis tell us, if all the Jewish people in the whole world would keep one Shabbos, then Mashiach would come, the redemption would come, and we'd come to the world to come. If everybody would keep one Shabbos. That's what this song is based on. It's a wonderful song that we're going to sing now. And I hope that everybody would be inspired a little bit Shabbos. Maybe we're not ready to keep the whole thing all of it together all of a sudden. A little bit of Shabbos, something maybe Friday night, not to drive, one day, hour during the day not to drive, to light candles before Shabbos, to eat a Shabbos festive dinner, something about Shabbos, to start doing something a little bit, to show God that, like Shiffy said so eloquently, God gave us Shabbos with love. We have to show our love back to Him, to show that we appreciate the love of Shabbos that He gave us.
The last page of the song book, just one Shabbos. English song. Bless the Lord on Friday night, it's the first time ever here. Strapped to his knapsack with his long and curly hair. Stood there for a while, broke out with a smile, emotional, well-being joy here. And what dancing did, the heart so full of love. We sang such happy tunes to thank the one above, to showing them the way, for giving them a day, to rest, rejoice with peace of mind to pray. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We'll show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We'll show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. I said, hello, my friend, you seem to be amused. He said, much more than that, I am a bit confused. I know I am a Jew. I was bar mitzvah too, but Shabbos in our home whoever knew. He asked to join with us to understand and see. He spent some time with us in total ecstasy. Next Shabbos came along, his feelings grew so strong. He first began to feel that he belonged. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We'll show them all it's true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky stay to live the Torah way. The message of Shabbos is every day. Now every Friday night they go down to the wall, invite some people home and they will tell them all. We'll teach you this new song, so join and sing along, and soon we'll all be free. It won't be long, just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We'll show them all is true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We'll show them all is true. Let them come and join us too. Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. We'll sing and dance to the sky with our spirits so high. We'll show them all is true. Let them come and join us too.
Shoya, shoya. You have any songs left? They want to do a little dance, maybe? Work a little. Questions and answers? Well, I see that Rosenfeld is really very inspired. He wants to know if any questions and answers. Questions and answers. Any comments or questions anybody like to say tonight? Here we have a question.
Questions? We want to hear more music, and we're being treated, so we don't have too much time.
Well, two
All the
questions.
best.
One is the bad angel. Does the bad angel choose to be bad, or is he, or is that? What,
Generally speaking, angels don't choose.
Okay, so
Angels are created.
so he's not like he made a bad choice.
No.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one of the great rabbis of the Talmud said to his students, you know, the Satan and the Satan, we call him, he's the real bad guy, right? He tries to get everybody to sin and do bad things. And he says, Hashem Shemayim Mischaven. He does it in God's name because God wants a person to have a challenge in this world. And therefore he created angels to try to get people to do the wrong thing. And they're supposed to stand up to them, not do the wrong thing. So he said that Satan is not so bad. He's just doing what he's supposed to do. That's his purpose in life. So it said Satan came and kissed him on his feet. He said, everybody thinks I'm so bad. I'm not so bad. I'm doing what I have to do. Finally, somebody came and told everybody I'm not so bad. So thank you very much, he told me.
Okay. And the other question is, I know some people are very careful during davening, during the liturgy, not to repeat words.
Yes.
But like with Shabbos Zmiros, like we just had tonight, I mean, that's not like obligatory type of prayer, but words were repeated. And, you know, the great cantors repeat words. I mean, if you don't say God's name many times and you're doing it for emphasis, why is that an issue?
Well, it's an issue because when you're in the middle of prayer, that you're not supposed to interrupt in the middle. You're not allowed to talk. So then that's the main reason why you're not allowed to repeat words, because you're interrupting in the middle. You said those words already. Saying it again is not part of the davening of the prayer itself. The songs of Shabbos, you're allowed to interrupt in the middle, so therefore you're allowed to repeat words. It's not a problem. We're not allowed to interrupt. We start Psuki the Zmiros, the Brachas Krishma, or the Chazonim in the middle of Dam Shmona Esrei. We're not allowed to stop. They keep repeating words. That's when there comes a problem, because you're not supposed to interrupt in the middle to say words that are not part of the prayer itself.
I have a question, Rabbi. If when the two angels come home to someone's house and it's not the way it should be, and one angel, the bad angel, gives the blessing, and the other angel says amen, he's agreeing to it, then it's very difficult. How's it possible the next Shabbos for the house to be the way it should be if they have to fight against the blessing of two angels? That's a very powerful blessing to fight against.
Well, that's a great question.
Thank you, Rabbi Reichman. That's it.
Rabbi Reichman. And the answer to that question is a very important answer, because we were created in this world, going back to what we was talking about before, to stand up to challenges. God put us in this world to test us, to see how strong we are in our belief, in our observance, and keeping Shabbos, and keeping kashrus, and keeping whatever the Torah tells us to do. It's not so easy. And when a person lives up to the test, so he went through a difficult time, and he comes out successful. But a person who does not stand up to the test, in order for him to fix up what he did wrong, it gets harder afterwards. God says, you didn't live up to the test. It was not that hard. The original test wasn't so hard, but you weren't strong enough, you're too weak to live up to that test. Now it's going to become harder, because now you have to fix up the wrong that you did. The first test was not fixing up any wrong. You didn't do anything wrong yet. So therefore, it's a normal test. Once you do something wrong, then God makes it harder, because that's the tshuva, that's the repentance person to do. That a person, once a person, let's say, doesn't keep kosher and enjoys non-kosher food so much, it's much harder for him to keep kosher. The person was brought up kosher, because he doesn't have any will to eat non-kosher food. A person who goes against the Torah and does the wrong thing, so then it's harder. It's just like we're in Golus. The Jewish people in the land of Israel, they had a lot of difficult times to stand up to the test, but it wasn't as hard as it is now. God sent us into Golus, into exile. Now to keep the Torah is much harder. God says, now it's harder, because now you have to fix up the wrong that you did. I'm making it harder for you in order for you to raise yourself higher than you were before you did that, before doing the sin. So therefore, it's not impossible to next week. The person still has free choice to make the Shabbos like it should be, but once you get more used to it, and more used to doing the wrong thing, it gets more comfortable, you lose your guilty conscience, it gets harder to do, but it's not impossible, and definitely it's possible for a person to overcome all challenges, even though it might get harder as you go along. What? Well, angels are not. Okay, rock of an angel, a curse of an angel. I mean, I can't come into that right now.
Rabbi Mintz, you once told us
That's the bottom line.
An expression in football. They say when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So if we messed up, I mean, it's going to get tougher for us. But if we got the medal, we got to be tough. Jewish people, we are
like
tough
the
people.
guy in the office, right? Guy in the office, the boss comes to him and says, you know, you're not doing your job. I want to fire you. So if you don't start shaping up, then you better do better than when you first came in, you had to do this and this. But now, if you want to save your job, you got to do even better than good. So to save your job, and once you fall, then you have a tougher challenge to bring yourself back to where you're supposed to be. When the tone gets tough, the tough get going.
When the going gets tough,
get going.
Tough.
Okay, great.
We Jewish people are tough. We got what it takes, right, Rabbi Mintz?
Oh boy.
We all got it.
More than any other nation in the world, absolutely.
We'll make one more. We want to hear more music. We'll take one more question, Mrs. Schwarzman.
We're going to start dancing soon.
Okay. Dancing too, and
dance to the sky, it says over there. We'll dance to the sky.
There's one point that is listed here, and we didn't touch it. Why do we have to cover the chalot?
Oh, yeah, missed that, yeah. Well, cover the chalot because there's a few reasons for that, but the most simple reason is because since the chalot are a remembrance of the mon, the double mon, they carry every Shabbat, and the mon had a covering over it, the dew, to keep it fresh. So we want to remember the miracle of the double mon that God gave, and the miracle of covering it over the top. We saw the kugel we said last week. Kugel as a crisp on top, crisp on the bottom, because that's remembrance of the dew on the top and the bottom that preserved the mun until they came to eat it. So we want to remember that miracle also of the mun that was covered by the dew. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I was rushing through it. I didn't say that. Yeah. But there's other reasons, but that's a simple reason, yes. So maybe we got a nice dancing on Nigamberg. So all the men come up to in front to dance. Come to dance. Shabbos 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 Yidlach Shrai I'll come to touch with this. I just want to say that what we're singing now with Yismuch Malchuscha. Those who will rejoice in God's kingdom, those who keep Shabbos and keep pleasure in Shabbos, they will be merit to rejoice in the kingdom of Hashem when He reveals Himself in the future. And Yidlach, all the Yidden should scream out, Shabbos, Shabbos.
Big stuff, guys. Here we go.
Shabbos in Malchuscha Shain Shabbos v'Kaveh Yovenek in Malchuscha Shain Shabbos v'Kaveh Yovenek Shabbos sing Shabbos 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 Hey, how old do you say you are? 45. Shabbos, Shrai, Shab, Yidalach, Shrai, Shab, Yidalach, Shrai, Shabbos.
All week is Shabbos. All week is Shabbos.
All week. Shabbos, Shabbos, v'chu v'malchuscha, shayin b'Shabbos v'kaveh yovenek, yismachu v'malchuscha, shayin b'Shabbos v'kaveh yovenek, yidalach shrai, shab, yidalach shrai, shab, yidalach shrai, shab, yidalach shrai, Shabbos.
Shabbos, all the Jews scream.
All the Jews scream. Shabbos, Shabbos. Malchus no. V'kaveh yovenek yismechu. Tuscha shayin b'Shabbos. Kanachai. Yidalachai. Yidalachai. Shabbos, Yidlachai, Shabbos,